What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the Zebulon Law Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Isaiah, and we are live, y'all. And today we have another 2024 WNBA scouting report, and we have Tennessee F Rickea Jackson. I think she is the third best player in this draft class, right behind Caitlin Clark and Cameron Brink. And y'all, I think she's going to have a really, really special WNBA career and potentially become the best small forward in our league. So without further ado, let's get into it. How's everyone doing on this Saturday? So Rickea Jackson, forward, 6'2", her 2023 stats, 20.2 points per game, 8.2 rebounds per game, 2.3 assists per game. She shot 48.5% from the floor and 33.8% from three. So y'all, let's get into her strengths. I think her first strength is her size/length. You're talking about a girl that's 6'2", y'all, that's very, very, very strong. I don't know what her, official weight is, but she's very strong. She has really good size, and this allows her to have major advantages over her opponent, because say if she's going against a smaller opponent, and that smaller opponent could be 5'9", 5'10", 5'11", which, for a woman is really tall, but because Rickea Jackson, is 6'2", it gives her a major advantage. And y'all, she also has some pretty long arms as well. I don't know what her wingspan is, but I know it has to be pretty long, because you can just see it when you watch her play. You can see her long wingspan. You can see how that helps her become, a better defender. You look at her next strength, y'all, her scoring versatility. You're talking about a girl that this past season averaged 20.2 points per game for the Lady Vols. But y'all, she was able to get those buckets in a variety of ways, posting up, mid-range shooting, a little bit of three-point shooting, being able to take it to the rack, convert at the free throw line to get and ones. I mean, she has it all in her bag, y'all, and I really, really like that. I like when a player can score, but you can score it in multiple ways, because some players, y'all, they can just score it in one way, just three-point shooting, or just mid-range shooting, or just posting up, or inside scoring. But she does it all, posting up a bit. She has a really good post fadeaway. She has a nice three-point shot, even though she does need to improve it. But she has a nice three-point shot, nice mid-range shot, and that goes into my next strength, y'all. Her next strength is her mid-range shooting. I think she's the best mid-range shooter in this draft class. She reminds me of DeMar DeRozan in terms of mid-range shooting. I mean, y'all, in that South Carolina game in the SEC tournament, she absolutely was killing them with the mid-range shot. She just can pull up, hit it in your face. And I mentioned to start this video, her size and her length, right? She uses that to her advantage to be able to elevate and shoot over the top of a lot of defenders. I mean, there's really nothing you can do when Rickea Jackson shoots her mid-range jump shots, because she just has so much size and length to get the shot off over pretty much any defender that's in her face. And so I really love that. But like I said, y'all, her mid-range shooter reminds me a lot of DeMar DeRozan. You look at her next strength, she has improved as a mid-range shooter. As a free throw shooter. You talk about when she first, y'all, her first couple years playing college basketball. Her first year, she shot 72% from the line. Her next year, she shot 55% from the line. But you look at her last two seasons, y'all, at Tennessee, 2022, she shot 79%. This past season, she shot 78%. She has really worked on that, and that's very important, because a player like Rickea Jackson that does draw a lot of fouls, that does go to the free throw line about 5 to 6 times per game, she has to be able to convert. Because if you're not able to convert, then people are going to do what? The hacker shack, right? They're going to do hacker Rickea or hacker whoever. So you have to be able, especially when you're a player, y'all, that attacks the basket as much as she does. And like I just said, that gets fouls called. You have to be able to convert it at the free throw line, and that's something that she's really worked on. You look at her next strength, y'all. It's her perimeter defense. She's one of the best perimeter defenders in this draft class, and that's mainly because y'all of her athleticism. You're talking about, again, I mentioned she's 6'2", but she's really fast. I mean, she moves like she's about 5'7", 5'8", and this allows her to be able to stay in front of darn near anybody. I don't care who it is. She can stay in front of pretty much any guard/forward that's on the perimeter, because she is so quick, she is so fast, and then she uses her strength, y'all, because you think you'll be able to get by Rickea Jackson, but you cannot get by her, because even if you think you can, she's going to body you up, and you're going to learn the hard way, like, no, we cannot get around this young woman, because she is so strong, she is quick, she's really fast, she has really, really good feet. And she's not going to be a player that's going to, to really wow you in terms of steals per game or blocks per game. I mean, you talk about y'all for her career, she only averaged 0.8 steals per game and 0.6 blocks per game. But she's a player kind of like a Klay Thompson, right? Like Klay Thompson has always been a great defender, but he's never been a guy that you would not notice that if you just looked at the stat sheet, right? Because Klay Thompson has never been a guy that was going to average like 2 steals per game or average like 2 blocks per game. He's not that kind of defender. He just plays really good defense, and the stats might not show it, but when you watch him play, you see it. Same thing with Rickea Jackson. The stats aren't going to show it, but y'all, she's a really good perimeter defender, and she can lock up pretty much anybody. Trust me, I've seen her do it. Even some players on South Carolina, I've seen her go up against Malaysia Fulwiley and Raven Johnson. She locked them up. You then finally, y'all, her last strength is her toughness. You're talking about a girl that's from Detroit, Michigan. Shout out to D. And she has been through a lot, especially in her collegiate career, y'all. You're talking about early on when she was at Mississippi State, she dealt with some suspensions, and she could have let that in her career. She could have let that stop her. We see some players, y'all, that when they go through hard times early in their career, sometimes that will crumble them, that will crush them, and they will never be able to proceed forward with their career because they're not able to overcome all the adversity that they've been through. Okay, she's also a young lady, y'all, that's had a lot of people doubt her. Okay, when she transferred from Mississippi State to Tennessee, a lot of people like, what is she doing? She's not going to be able to do what she did at Mississippi State to Tennessee, but she did it. Right? I mean, y'all, I think she's one of the best players in Tennessee Lady Vols basketball history, and that's saying a lot. But Rickea Jackson did a lot. You talking about her 2 years there, her first year, 2022, 19.6 rebounds. Her last year, 20 points, 8 rebounds. So she lived up to the hype. And a lot of people didn't think she could do that because, Tennessee is different. No disrespect to Mississippi State. When you come to Tennessee, y'all, the Lady Vols, a lot of expectations, a lot of pressure, and she lived up to it. So there is no way anybody can question Rickea Jackson's toughness because she's as tough as they come. Again, like I said, y'all, she's from Detroit, Michigan. So she knows what it's like to go through some hard times. But she knows when you go through hard times, you got to pick yourself up and keep going and keep proving your doubt is wrong. And that's what she did throughout her collegiate career. Y'all, let's get into her weaknesses. Her first weakness is her injury history. You talk about throughout her collegiate career, she's had some lower leg injuries, really ankle injuries. Then this past season, she did have a lower leg injury. So that is a concern. I don't think it's a huge concern because, a lot of players have ankle injuries, but teams could be concerned about her long-term ability to stay healthy. Because, y'all, you cannot play the game of basketball without your legs, your ankles, your knees being fully healthy. Because you got to be able to run up and down that court, right? You have to be able to run up and down that court consistently. So, again, like I said, teams could maybe be worried about her long-term potential, her long-term future. I'm not. I put it on here because, yes, that is a weakness. It is a weakness of hers. It's her injury history, right? The concerns. But, again, it's not like she had an ACL injury or an MCL injury. No, had a couple of ankle injuries, and then this past season, she had a lower leg injury. The good news is, y'all, is that she only missed 8 games with that lower leg injury. So, it wasn't too severe. It's not like it caused her to miss like 20 games because of that lower leg injury she sustained. No, it only forced her to miss 8 games. You look at her next weakness, y'all. I think this is her biggest weakness. She is inconsistent as a three-point shooter. You talking about for her career, she shot 31% from 3. Okay, that's not good. Now, this year, she was better. She was almost at 34%, right? 33.8. So that's an improvement. But she's still inconsistent as a three-point shooter, y'all. And I don't think it's her mechanics. I think it's her confidence. She's just not confident. When you look at her shoot the ball, her form looks good. Her mechanics look good. So you're like, Rickea, why aren't you a better three-point shooter? I just don't think she's confident enough in her ability as a three-point shooter. Even this season, y'all, I saw plenty of times where Rickea Jackson was wilding before 3. What did she do? She turned it down. There was a couple of times that LSU game, she was over for 3. She didn't shoot it. She ended up pulling up for a mid-range shot. Well, she is a good mid-range shooter. But she's going to have to become at least a serviceable three-point shooter. If she can get to about 35, 36%, that's good enough. I'm not saying she got to be a Caitlin Clark or Sabrina Ionescu or Kelsey Mitchell or Chelsea Gray or Kelsey Plum. You know, one of these elite, or Marina Johannes, one of these elite three-point shooters, or Rebecca Allen or Ty Harris. Okay, all those young women I just named, y'all, are good to elite three-point shooters. She just needs to be a serviceable one. All right, make the defense respect you from behind the three-point line. Because if they don't respect you, what's going to happen, y'all? They're just going to leave her open. They're going to leave her open. And they're going to force her to shoot. So she has to show them, no, you don't want to leave me open. Because if you leave me open, I'm going to make you pay time and time and time and time again. Okay, if she can do that, again, 35, 36%, she'll be fine. You look at her last weakness, y'all. It's her passing ability. She only averaged 1.6 assists per game for her career to 2.6 turnovers per game for her career. Okay, obviously, that's not good. It's actually really, 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 really bad. Just call a spade a spade. It's really bad. Okay? To average 2.6 turns per game for your career, but only 1.6 assists per game, it's not great. Now, I will say this. I don't think Rickea Jackson will ever be asked to initiate the offense. I don't think she'll ever be a primary playmaker for her team. But she's going to have to show she can hit her open teammate. And I know she didn't have the best talent at Tennessee. She did have a lot of attention on her. You know, Tennessee, that really her 2 years there, that whole team dealt with a lot of injuries. So there were times like she was really like the kind of the only capable scorer on the floor. But at the end of the day, y'all, Rickea is going to have to become a better passer. Because if she's able to become a better passer, that's just going to add another layer to her game. Because now, defenders, you can't just worry about her as a scorer. You got to worry about her as a playmaker. And also, y'all, this will allow her to maybe run some guard at times, right? Which would be very, very surprising considering what she is right now. But if she's able to improve as a passer, improve her vision, she might be able to run the point guard spot sometimes, which will really create some mismatches for her because she's 6'2". So if you got like a 6'2" point guard or a 6'2" player that can run point guard at times, it's just going to make it even more difficult for defenses to guard you. And so again, if she's able to improve this, I'm not saying she's ever going to be an elite passer. She doesn't have to be one because that's not what she's going to be asked to do at the WNBA level. Teams are going to ask her to be a primary playmaker. But her coach might ask her to be a secondary playmaker, which if she's a secondary playmaker, she definitely is going to have to improve her vision. All right, y'all, so let's get into my pro comparison, my prospect grade, and the conclusion. Then I will be on out y'all's way. So my pro comparison for Rickea Jackson is Kahleah Copper. And I think this is kind of funny because Kahleah Copper's former team has a third pick in the draft in the Chicago Sky. And there's a strong chance that they are going to draft Rickea Jackson. So I just think that would be so funny if that ends up happening. But when you look at Rickea Jackson and Kahleah Copper, their games are very similar, right? Two tough, two-way small forwards that can get to the basket, that can shoot it a little bit, even though I think at this point, Kahleah Copper's a better shooter. But y'all remember, when Kahleah Copper was at Rutgers, that was one of her weaknesses. She was a non-three-point shooter. Rickea Jackson has shown us she can shoot threes. She just needs to do it more consistently, right? She just needs to do it over a long period of time. Whereas Kahleah Copper, when she was coming out of the draft, she wasn't a shooter at all. right? Kalia Copper was not a shooter at all. But Rickea Jackson already is a shooter. She needs to do it more consistently. But I think, y'all, their skill sets are very, very similar to one another. Again, two tough, two-way small forwards that can elevate, get to that spot. We know Kalia Copper does that darn near better than anybody in the league right now. At just getting to her spot, elevating and hitting in your face. And then just that toughness, that grittiness that both of them bring. Very energetic, very passionate. And y'all, when you have a player or players on your team that bring that energy, it's going to fire the rest of your team up. And it's going to have them ready to play. So that is my pro comparison for Rickea Jackson, Kalia Copper. Very similar to one another. And hey, the Sky could definitely use Rickea Jackson, y'all. I mean, they could. After they traded away Kalia Copper, they could use a two-way small forward that could create for herself. So my prospect grade for you, I gave her a grade of 94, meaning she's a great player, should be an all-star / all WNBA player. And I look at Rickea Jackson, and in my opinion, y'all, she is the most well-rounded player in this draft class, because you're talking about a forward that's 6'2", that is long, that is strong, that is tough, that's an amazing scorer, that can score from all three levels, that can post up, is a really, really good rebounder as well. She averaged 8 rebounds per game this season. I mean, she's just so well-rounded that even if, let's say, she might have an all-shooting game, there's just so many other things that she brings to the table, right? Her defense, her rebounding, her toughness, her grittiness. And then y'all know she can put the ball in that basket. And so when I look at Rickea Jackson, I'm like, there's no way in the world she's going to be a bust. No way in the world she's going to be a bust because of all the qualities that she brings to the table. So in conclusion, y'all, Jackson has a shot creation and two-way ability that teams covet in a forward. Her three-point shooting is a work in progress, but she is a well-rounded player that will immediately make an impact. And like I just said, y'all, when I look at Rickea Jackson, she is the most well-rounded player in this draft class, in my opinion. Because even when you look at her weaknesses, right, her three-point shooting, she can improve that. Kalia Copper was a non-three-point shooter when she came out of Rutgers. Like, she couldn't shoot at all. She wouldn't shoot. Rickea Jackson has shown she can shoot. She just needs to do it consistently. But I think with everything else that she brings to the table, Rickea Jackson is going to have a very long career, multiple-time All-Star, multiple-time All-Defensive Team member, and she has a chance to be the best small forward in the league. I really believe that, y'all. Let me repeat. Rickea Jackson has the potential and the chance to be the best small forward in the league, because there are not too many players that can do what she do, that does what she does, I should say. Not too many players that has a skill set that she has. And I just really believe years from now, we're going to look back and say, wow, she might be the best player in this draft class. And I love Caitlin Clark, but I really believe, y'all, we can look back and say Rickea Jackson ended up being the best player in this draft class, just considering at her size, being 6'2", and all the things that she can do. You know, in most draft classes, Rickea Jackson would be the best player. But because we got Caitlin Clark and Cameron Rink, she's the third best player, at least in my opinion. But that's not a knock against her. Caitlin Clark and Cameron Rink are just really great. But she's great as well. She's special as well. And I cannot wait to see her play in the WNBA, y'all. She's one of my favorite players in this entire draft class. I've been a fan of hers since her high school days. And I'm so glad to see that she's been able to overcome all the things that she went through, especially early on in her collegiate career, to be at the point she is now, to get ready to be potentially a top 3 pick, maybe top 2 pick in the WNBA draft. And I know she's going to go on to have a really, 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 really amazing career. So there you have it, y'all. That is my 2024 WNBA scouting report on Tennessee F Rickea Jackson, man. How do y'all feel about Rickea Jackson? Do y'all think she's gonna be an amazing player like I do? Because I really believe that she will, y'all. I really, really do. Yeah, as y'all know, and I've said it several times in the last few days, but as y'all know, the WNBA draft is this Monday, April 15th. I think it's 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. So I cannot wait for it to happen. I hope y'all will be watching. I definitely will be watching. I know on Tuesday I will come on here and recap the WNBA draft, kind of things that surprised me. Maybe nothing would surprise me, but things that surprised me, teams I think won, just all that stuff. So yeah, cannot wait for that. As y'all know, or for those that might not know, I will be going live at 4 p.m. Central Standard Time to talk about Kentucky men's basketball hiring Mark Pope to be their next head coach. And then back here, y'all, tonight at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, I'll be doing my New England Patriots 7-round mock draft. Y'all, it's a lot going on in the world of sports, and I'm trying to keep y'all up to date with everything that's going on. Yeah, I hope y'all been enjoying the content because I've been bringing, a lot of different content. I said a couple of months ago that I want to start doing more, women's college basketball, WA content on here because I do watch that. So I hope y'all been enjoying it because I've been enjoying, doing it because I do watch this well. I do know a lot about it. And I just want to use my platform that I have to promote women's basketball and the WNBA as a whole. So I hope y'all really appreciate me doing that. Y'all know how I'm ending, man. I love y'all. God bless. Peace.